Today on MTG Unpacked, it's time for something a little bit different. So if you've been following me on social media lately, you might have noticed I've been getting into Warhammer miniatures. So really interested in the making the models and painting them. So I picked up a bunch of stuff from my local game store a couple of weeks ago. Just really beginner stuff. So I've done some acrylic painting in the past, had a few classes, but nothing with miniatures. So I am starting from absolute scratch, so hopefully these videos are helpful for anyone who's looking to get into miniature painting. So today let's take a look. We've got the Warhammer Age of Sigmar paint and tools. So this thing was going for about 40 bucks US from my local game store. Seems a little bit steep, but when you consider each of these paints, they're selling for about $4.50 US each. That really adds up. So probably like a 50% discount over buying everything separately. So what do we get here? It says a mold line remover, plastic cutters, paints and brush. So some of this stuff you may already have, might not be so useful. You may be better served picking things up separately. Okay, made in the UK. So here's a little quick thing here, sequence of clipping the models out of the sprues, filing off the mold lines. That's something that can be a problem if you try to connect them together. You can sometimes have these little mold lines there that are still preventing the model clipping together properly. Then you get some paint your model, and magic, it just looks like that. So I will be opening some of these other kits in future videos. We'll be going through the process, this whole sequence here, and you can see what an absolute beginner does with one of these kits. So it should be entertaining at least. Alright, so let's get into it. And leave a note in the comments. Are you into miniatures at all? Have you done any painting in the past? Are you into Warhammer gaming in general? Let me know. Okay, so here we have everything laid out. So we have some clippers here. Let's get them out of their plastic. So I do actually have some clippers, but they're mainly for bonsai trees. So a little bit different, probably not so good at cutting plastic. So, okay, there we go. So it looks to be decent. I'm sure they're not the most magnificent quality, but you know what? Starter set should be enough to get started. And then this thing, okay, so this is the mold line remover. You can tell it's like a little file. There's some roughness here. It's not terribly sharp, but good for like sanding off those edges, getting rid of those mold lines. So that looks pretty decent. And then of course we get a Citadel starter brush. So one of the things you might notice, these brushes are really tiny because you're not sure if that's getting in focus. You're painting these tiny miniatures. So a lot of small detail necessary. So we'll see how that brush goes with my painting experience. And then we've got this tray. Let's have a quick look at all the different paints. So we've got a Citadel base paint, Cantor Blue. Okay, so this one I think looks like what I've seen. I've painted a lot of those Space Marines as in the stock artwork. Alright, next up we have the Nighthaunt Gloom. So I do actually have the kit for this. It's a very dark, sort of greyish blue colour. So I've got some extra there in case I need it. Alright. And next up we have the Mournfang Brown. Okay, so that's a base paint. Oh, okay, and this one is, I just noticed this one's technical paint, whatever the difference is there. So we'll line up the bases. Next we have another base paint, Racca Flesh. So it looks like it needs a bit of shaking up there, but this is more of a flesh tone paint. Okay, so that's another base. Okay, Retributor Armor. So I think that's probably more of a rusty type color, or for painting like a darker armor, maybe adding some different layering there. Okay, so that's another base. Okay, we've got the Racca Flesh shade. So another skin tone, so that's a shade paint. Okay, so we'll have technical shade and base. And then we've got Bugman's Glow. Interesting, that almost looks like a pinkish red colour. So that's another base paint. Then we've got a layer paint, White Scar. Just a pretty simple white paint. And a texture paint, Armageddon Dust. Okay, this would probably be good for your if you're painting vehicles and stuff. Alright, so I've got 4 left in here. What else do we got? Lead Belcher. Okay, so this is more of a metallic grey paint. You can see that there. So there's a lot of robots and armour and stuff that you need that on. We've got Corn Red base paint. Pretty self-explanatory. And next up we've got a Celestra Gray. And that one, that almost looks, yeah, it's hard to tell. Looks a little metallic, but maybe that's because the paint just needs to be mixed around a little more. Okay, so another base paint. And finally, we have Abaddon Black. Okay, so nice base paint there for black. So that's pretty much it. I mean, nice little kit here. You get the 13 paints, the clippers, paintbrush, and the mold line remover. So I'll be trying all this stuff out in the coming days and weeks. We'll have some more videos on that, so stay tuned. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button for more Magic the Gathering, and I guess now Warhammer unboxings. And be sure to tap the notification bell to be notified as soon as new videos are released. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.